Thank you.
Annabelle Weir.
Tēnā koutou katoa. Good afternoon, councillors. I'm Annabelle, this is Campbell, and this is Josh. We're here on support of our submission for the Diamond Harbour Library that needs more hours and more days. In my submission, I proposed a set of hours. The results from the paper petition showed that overwhelmingly respondents wanted late nights and more weekend time. Therefore, an online survey was created. I've created a pie chart. You've also probably got the raw data, but I have got this chart of the main points from that survey. The important thing to note that over 70% of the respondents voted for increased hours, late nights and longer weekends. Only 2% wanted to keep the hours we currently have. The hours voted top choice are Monday to Friday, 10 till 6, Tuesdays late night with a 10 till 8, and Saturdays 10 till 4. Our library is open for a mere 13 hours a week. All other libraries in the Christchurch City Council's portfolio receive around a minimum of 30 hours. Our closest library is actually Christchurch South Library. That's 25 kilometres away. Littleton comes next at 28 kilometres, both of which are on difficult, windy roads. Most other library users have at least 2 libraries within 10 kilometres of their area. We do not. Okay, the why. Current hours do not meet the needs of our communities. We have a huge commuter workforce who wish to use their local library rather than a town one. The hours are too hard to remember. It is a critical part of creating a connected community. Our library is an important element of our community. Our library residents voted overwhelmingly for more hours. We feel Christchurch City Council needs to show fairness and greater understanding of the towns beyond central Christchurch. A late night and weekend option here is only fair when Tuaranga Library offers this for Christchurch residents. My children could go every day as required. These boys read 40 books a week. We have been to the library 3 times. Well, what was that big pile at home? Anyway, we could take the Sea Scouts there as part of the curriculum for libraries. Children can visit after school. Preschool children and caregivers could have a safe and sheltered place to go. People can catch up in a non-commercial space that would be for all ages. Community issues and matters get discussed in our library, like our library hours. Another part-time position could be created. Of course, our dream is to have a purpose-built facility on the Godley House site with a cafe, a clean exterior, clean exterior access toilets, and pay-for-use showers. Until that debate completes, we sincerely request more library hours in the interim. Please seriously consider this submission and act upon it as soon as possible. Thank you very, very much for listening to the voice of Diamond Harbour. We are very grateful to be heard. Thank you. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa.
Kia ora, and thank you very much. It's, I really love it when someone from the community has gone out and done this extensive survey and reflected back the feelings of the community. So it's a fabulous piece of work.
Thank
Sarah.
you.
Thank you very much. I was wondering is there a part way kind of thing? If there was one of those sets of hours that was the top priority, so for example, would it be the Saturday hours or a late night or more consistent hours? If there was one bit of that,
I would probably have to do a further survey because at the moment I did 4 sets and overwhelmingly people chose the one that we created based on what they said in the petition. In the petition, which I have here, all their comments, they just wrote millions of comments and I tried to collate them. And then that's why we offered them those hours that they actually chose the top one. The next one was based on, the next one was actually Littleton hours in the green. That was actually Littleton hours. So that was the next favourite, 23%. And then the 19% one was actually based on Rolleston.
Right.
So I would probably have to go back and ask.
Yeah.
Another petition.
Yeah, just, well, not a petition necessarily, but yeah. I mean,
another survey.
If there wasn't the opportunity or the funding available to do the full, what you're after.
Yeah, I think after school probably. After school, but also what I understood is after school, but also the late nights.
Yeah.
So perhaps maybe an extra, maybe the Thursday could be extended to go till 4 p.m. as well.
Yeah.
And don't lose the Tuesday night. I know it doesn't always get a lot of foot traffic, but we use it a lot if we can get in there before tea.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Sorry, Anne had her hand up and we've come to the end of time. Sorry, Anne.
Just a quick one, Annabelle. Thank you so much for all this work. And is there any capacity within the community for voluntary, you know?
I think what I understand, it's been run by volunteers for years, and they are discouraged at this stage, but I'm not sure. I'm quite new to the area. I've only been there 5 years.
Okay, so perhaps is there someone on staff that we could talk to about how to encourage that, and perhaps, you know, there might be an opportunity for that resource to be
I think since
supported?
the earthquakes, everyone's really exhausted and we've got enough on our plate, to be honest. We'd love a service that was paid with a paid librarian, to be honest. That I don't think asking for more volunteers is going to work in our community. Campbell's keen.
I'm already a volunteer anyway, so yeah.
That's great. Look, but the last submitter hasn't turned up, so I'll just allow Andrew to ask the final question.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Great, thank you very much. And I'd certainly echo the support and thanks for the work that you've done in running the petition and the survey and bringing such detailed information to this meeting. Which leads to my question. There were 251 people responded to the petition, plus another 7, I think it was, at the cafe at Alton Bradley. How many people responded to this survey that we've got here?
195. But the problem with SurveyMonkey is I only get to see the first 100 responses for free. And so we don't have a community if you guys would like to fund it, we can see the other 100. But
No, you could just use Google Forms, but you didn't.
my son tells me I should have used Google Forms. I was actually very grateful. Another volunteer did this for me because actually my husband did the pie chart. Another gentleman, Pete Simpson, actually did the survey for me because it wasn't one of my fortes. And so at this stage we have 195. It may have gone up because that was this morning.
Yep.
And it is still open survey. And I would love to know what those other 100 want. But I would say it's the same as the first 100.
Well, certainly what you've provided is all good information that I'm sure will lead to some discussion around what you're requesting. That's great. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
All right, so that has brought us to the conclusion of our submissions today and brought us to the conclusion of the submissions on the annual plan. So it is at this point I'd like to thank councillors for their attentive involvement and engagement with our communities, and I declare the meeting closed.